So, hello everybody. In this paper video, I want to describe our research on functional MRI scores for memory-related activations and deactivations, and how they might contribute to quantifying neurocognitive aging. So, in our research, we do fMRI experiments, and the fMRI data belong to this paper come from the autonomy in old age cohort, which at the time of publication consisted of 259 subjects, including 106 young healthy volunteers aged 18 to 35, 111 older subjects aged 60 plus. Our main comparison of interest is on these two groups. There was also a group of middle-aged subjects aged between 50 and 60 years, and there was a young replication cohort of 117 subjects, which were acquired a few years earlier, used the same experimental paradigm and almost the same scanning parameters. So which experimental paradigm did we use? So in our experiment, subjects are presented with photographs, which were either new to them at the time of presentation or which they had seen before a couple of times, here called master images. And their task simply was to indicate via button press whether an image is showing an indoor or an outdoors. This is the encoding session of our memory experiment, and there was also a retrieval session 70 minutes later outside the scanner, in which subjects were presented with all the old images that they had seen before, as well as a couple of new images. And this time their task was to rate those images on a 5-point scale, ranging from 1 for this item is definitely new to me, up to 5 for I've definitely seen this item in the encoding session. So this is the retrieval session of our memory experiment. And in fMRI data analysis, we of course focused on the encoding session. And with respect to our experimental paradigm, we can either infer on effects of novelty processing by contrasting novel images with master images. This is here shown on the left. Or we can infer on subsequent memory effects by contrasting later remembered with later forgotten items. This is here shown on the right. So the age-related differences on these two contrasts are characterized by reduced activations in medial temporal lobe regions like the hippocampus, and reduced deactivations in default mode regions like the precuneus. This motivated to the construction of two fMRI scores, and they are calculated as follows. So first, we analyze only the young subjects and identify voxels in which activity on a given contrast, novelty or memory, is either significantly positive, here shown in red, or significantly negative, here shown in blue. The fate score for functional activity deviation during encoding, which was already introduced in 2011, then subtracts the average t-value on the same contrast for given older subjects inside the red voxels from the average t-value outside those voxels. In our study, we introduced the same score for similarities of activations during memory encoding, and the same score goes beyond the fate score by considering reduced activations and reduced deactivations, as well as by also accounting for the variability of the young reference sample. So if we calculate these two fMRI scores for our two contrasts, novelty and memory, for our group of older subjects, what do we observe? First, there are no effects of scanner or gender or interactions with them on any of the fMRI scores. We only see main effects of age group for all of the scores except the novelty fate score. Second, when controlling for age group, fate and same score are significantly correlated to memory performance. The memory scores are also correlated to chronological age in the group of older subjects, but none of the scores is correlated with hippocampal volume, left or right hemisphere. These patterns also replicate in middle-aged and young replication subjects. So in addition to this, the fate and the same score are equally stable when they are computed for the group of older subjects using different reference samples, so either young RER or Y-fate subjects. And the same score is also stable when it's computed for young subjects from different studies, young RER or Y-fate subjects. Finally, relationships of the scores with chronological age are largely confined to between group rather than within group effects, meaning that the scores are relatively stable inside the age groups. So with that, I want to say thank you. And if you want to know more, feel free to check out the paper.